Hi folks, and welcome to the Truck King YouTube channel. Well, the Ford F-Series is on track again to be the best-selling pickup truck for 2024. And today, we're going to take a look at a top-end luxury version. This is the F-150 Platinum, fit with the Powerboost hybrid. So let's go over this whole truck, look at all the features, including that new Pro Access tailgate, and then we'll go on a long drive, check out the fuel economy, and talk about whether this truck really deserves to be king of the hill. Let's dive into it right now. Let's do a walk around on this truck now. So as I mentioned, this is the Powerboost hybrid. It's a 3.5 liter turbocharged V6 mated to a battery hybrid setup. Total system output on this power plant, 430 horsepower and 570 pound-feet of torque, and that is sent through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Like I said, this is a top-end truck. You can see you get a unique grille. You get the Platinum across the hood up there. You get a nice set of 22-inch forged aluminum wheels, so some big old wheels right there. Features like powered running boards that are automatic. Yeah, everything is on this truck. So why don't you just drop in the comments right now and tell me, what do you think of the looks on this Platinum? Let's take a look at the camera system now in this truck. So we throw it in reverse. That's your first view, sort of the rear and the top-down view. Over here you can zoom in on specific corners, which is pretty neat. I mean, right now I'm backing up next to this rock wall, so you can get a pretty good sense for how close you are to things. Now besides that, we have more views over here. So we can go just the full screen rear, full screen wide. The Chimsel camera looking into your bed. There's your hitch camera. And this would be for your trailer camera. So this camera would go on the rear end of your trailer and allow you to see that. And then of course this is your trailer reverse guidance, which is going to help you back into a trailer. We're not using that today. So for now, we'll stick with, actually we'll go with the full screen view. I love that there is a full screen view. If you're going to have a big screen, you might as well use the whole thing for a camera. Another feature I really like is this auto parking brake ready. So the truck knows that once you use this plus button to look at your hitch view, you're going to be hooking up a trailer. So you might as well get ready to put on that parking brake. Let me shut off those parking sensors. And, oh, I'm a little bit off. But hey, I can see it super clearly. Nothing a quick little bit of an adjustment, can't fix, and boom. All right, now let's go take a look at the tailgate. We just hooked up the trailer specifically to show off this new tailgate, because that's really what Ford focused on when they installed this new feature. So traditionally, if I was to open this tailgate with the trailer on, it's gonna hit my jack foot, and you can see we put a piece of rubber on top of our jack foot, because this isn't the first time this has happened to us. This is the powered tailgate, so it doesn't want to sit at that position. It either needs to be open or closed. So it closed on its own. But now here's what Pro Access is all about. You grab the button over here at the side. There is a detent right there at just about 30 degrees, so the door will actually stay there. And this allows me to get in here and really access things in my bed. So I can reach in further, and then I can also still climb up and in. And that's something that wouldn't have been possible with a traditional tailgate. So I will say, I think this tailgate is a little niche because it's so towing specific, but if you are pulling a trailer all the time, I can definitely see the benefit of this thing, which is pretty cool. So yeah, let's go over bed features in here now. So we get one hard tie down point in each corner, which I really wish Ford would do more than that, to be honest. But yes, one hard tie down. You do get those box link cleats, so you can buy cleats and add more. Still, just one from the factory. Then we have LED lights. Over here we get Pro Power on board, so you get all those plugs so you can really power your stuff. And a little storage box down in your bed as well. All right, folks, we're driving now. We're headed for the gas station because I want to do a fuel economy test, but I don't want to mess up my fuel economy run with the full power pull, so let's do that right now. We're going at 50 kilometers an hour and foot to the floor. Oh, yeah. And there's 100 like nothing. Power feels so good. I mean, you guys heard the numbers. This thing offers massive power, great torque. And then what's true usually about a hybrid is true here as well. The battery masks the turbo lag pretty well. You still do feel it. After about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, you do feel a bit more of a bump of power, but you also feel the fact that the hybrid system off the line is sort of giving you that instant torque. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to complain about the power in this truck. It is pretty ridiculous. So we're pulling into the gas station now. Let's fill it up. We'll go driving. We'll do a nice mixed drive, some city, some highway. And then we'll also see if you can get good fuel economy out of a truck this dang powerful. Let's do it. Okay, all fueled up, time to take off. First, I want to point out the range is currently listed at 982 kilometers. And here in the Powerboost, the fuel tank is right about 114 liters. That is 30.6 US gallons. And that's the only tank you can get here in the Powerboost Hybrid. But that is a pretty great range for a full tank. And now we'll go ahead and reset trip 1. There we go, all zeroed out. Now let's hit the road, and like I mentioned, we're gonna do mixed driving. I'm in town right now, so we're gonna stay in the city. We'll do some city surface streets for maybe between 1/4 and half the drive, and then we'll hit a 400 series highway where we can really get moving at speed, and we'll finish up the drive that way. So we'll have a nice mixed number by the time we're all done here. We roll on here, folks, and right now I am testing out Blue Cruise hands-free driving here in the F-150. We are on the 401. It's changing lanes for me now. I just had to signal the lane change, and away we go. Got the cruise set at 115 kilometers per hour, and it's working well. You know, I don't see massive variations between the different systems at each one of the different brands. The hands-free driving systems, they all seem to do quite a good job at navigating you on the highway. Now, the one thing that does stand apart is General Motors, because you can tow a trailer. If I was to put a trailer on this truck right now, Blue Cruise would not work. You know, I had someone at Ford say that it could work. It's just not something that they're willing to do yet, where General Motors engineers went, no, that's something we can do, and we're willing to put that out there in the marketplace. So we'll see if Ford, or if Ram for that matter, catches up to GM there. But yeah, just cruising empty, this thing works great. Although now I have to do my disclaimer that I do every time I'm doing any hands-free driving, which is that although the vehicle is driving for me, I am still in charge and I am still at fault. If anything happens, even if the system makes a mistake and, you know, suddenly changes lanes and hits the guy next to me, that's on me. It's not on the truck. So not only do you have to be monitoring traffic around you to understand what's going on, you have to be paying attention to the truck and the system to make sure it's working correctly. So yeah, you can't take this job lightly, and I fear that's what's going to happen. And I'll admit it too, it's easy to get lulled into a false sense of security here. It's easy to be like, oh, look how good the system is, it's amazing. And then, you know, lay back and try and take a nap. That's not a good idea, because we're not at a place yet with these autonomous systems where the manufacturers will take on that liability. Right now, the liability is solely on the driver. So yes, use these systems, they work well, but don't forget that it's on you. You still have to be basically just as engaged as you would be if you were driving. And one more bit on Blue Cruise specifically, Ford is changing how it's selling this feature. So up until now, you've had to buy a subscription. You've had to pay monthly for your Blue Cruise. Well, I'm assuming Ford must have heard a lot of negative feedback on that, because now they're offering both ways. You can buy Blue Cruise for a one-time fee outright when you purchase the vehicle, or you can do the subscription. So it's like if you just want to try it out for a bit, you're not sure you want to pull the trigger on the full price, fine, just roll ahead with your monthly. Or right off the bat, if you think, I don't want to pay a monthly fee, I just want it, kind of like how car features have always been, well, you can now do that too. So Ford is also changing the way they're selling this feature, and again, obviously that must have been crafted based on customer feedback, because not everybody wants to add another subscription onto their, already long list of subscriptions that we have these days. And we're back at the gas station now, folks. We're getting this fuel economy test out of the way. So we actually did about 135 kilometers, might be 136 by the time we're done. And we did basically what I told you. I would say over half of the drive was highway, where we were doing anywhere from 110 to 115 kilometers an hour, generally with the cruise control on. And then for, maybe 30% of the drive, somewhere around there, we were in town, just on city streets, always following speed limits. So this is a decent mix of both kinds of driving. Oh, there we go, and it just rolled over. So we did a total of exactly 136 kilometers, and we managed 10.8 liters per 100, which, I already talked about the power earlier. When you can get this mix of something this powerful that can be that efficient, that's pretty dang good. And for the US folks, I will switch the units. So that's 84.5 miles, and that's 21.6 MPG. But now that we're back at the gas station, we will go pump our own gas, fill this thing up, and then we'll do the math ourselves to see if the real world math calculation is close to what the computer says. Let's do it. Okay, filled up now. Let's check the math ourselves. So that means we take our 13.972 liters that we added. We divide that by the distance. That's 136 kilometers. We multiply that by 100 to move the decimal over, and we get 10.3 liters per 100. So the real math says that we actually did a little bit better than the computer. Now, I will admit, doing it this way, it's not perfectly scientific, so I like to think that the real number is probably somewhere between the computer and what I got. So yeah, I call that, 10.4 liters per 100, somewhere around there. Still, I come back to what I said earlier. For a half-ton truck that offers this much power, that's a solid fuel economy number. As we roll on here, folks, let's talk more about driving this truck, and maybe more importantly, what it's like to be inside this truck, because luxury trucks and luxury vehicles in general are really defined by their interior comfort, I think, more than the drive, although the drive checks all those boxes as well. Huge power, this thing is quiet, the suspension is comfortable even when it's unloaded, so all of those things are here. But like I said, I think sort of what makes up the interior, that really drives home that luxury feeling. And yeah, that's all here too. We have a real diverse mix of materials, from leather wrapped to this sort of knurled metal around the center stack. Some plastic, but even the plastic they use, like up here, it has this F-series embossed right in it. There's a bit of wood over on the passenger side above the glove box. So you get that mix of materials. They all blend in really well, and that definitely adds to the air of luxury. Now, I think personally the most luxurious thing about this truck are the seats. Overall, in the seat game right now, I don't think you're going to find better seats than in the Ford F-Series. Ram has pretty comfy seats, and then the Chevy seats are definitely the stiffest of the big three if we're just talking about seats. But yeah, these Ford seats, they're so supportive. They really feel like they wrap around you. They're also massaging, so yes, you have a number of different massage functions. You can go in the screen here and also adjust different bolsters within the seat, so you can really kind of tailor it to your own body. Yeah, the most comfortable seats in half-ton pickup trucks right now, I think, are right here in an F-150. And what more important way than to drive home that luxury feeling than by giving you a super comfortable seat? So that's definitely a plus here. And then when it comes to features, I feel like everything's here too. Wireless charging for my phone, a huge crystal clear head-up display in front of me, fully digital gauge cluster, huge moonroof up here above my head. I'd say the only thing I'm missing in this truck as compared to the competitors is a rear view camera mirror up here. That's just a classic mirror. So that's one thing Ford could have done. But outside of that, like I said, I think all of the luxury appointments are here. and this truck definitely feels top trim. And it better, because now we have to get to what's arguably the most important part of the video, the price. So the truck you see in this video has an MSRP in Canada of $113,000. And that's where, you know, I can be super positive about the truck, but that's where I always have to turn a bit negative, because at 113, this is what I expect. This truck better be incredible at that price point. And you know what? I feel like I've said this in a few videos too. You can't call it affordable and you can't call it good value, because I don't think it is those things. What I do think though is if you have the money to afford it, and this is a choice you make, you're not going to be massively disappointed by the vehicle you get. You're not going to drive home and be like, I way overpaid, this thing doesn't feel luxurious. It definitely feels luxurious, even next to a luxury brand, say from Germany. Put this up to one of those luxury vehicles, and I think it absolutely stacks up. So I don't think it's disappointing for the price, just to make that point clear. But yes, overpriced, yeah, it definitely feels that way. And good value, no, definitely not good value. Well, folks, we have arrived at the end of this one, and what else can I say? I think I've covered it all. This truck really offers everything. Good power, solid fuel economy, tons of features, and a beautiful interior. The biggest downside has to be that price point, but if you can afford it, this is a beautiful luxury truck. So yeah, folks, that's it for this one. Now, of course, I do need to hear from you. Drop into the comments. Let me know what you think about the fuel economy, the power, the features, and then of course the price. And don't forget, while you're down below, hit that like button, hit subscribe, hit join to become a member of Truck King, and then come right back here to the channel to see what we're testing next. See ya.